Shalom, family. Shalom. It's your brother Micaiah, and we're here to do a quick little insight about the Native American prophecy that's written in your Holy Bible. All right. So we're gonna go through stuff about what Gad means. Okay. The Native American, how they connect together. All right, Gad and the Native American. All right, we're gonna go into the men's attributes. All right. We're going to go into quote unquote Thanksgiving. Okay, where can we find that in the Bible? All right. We're going to go into the food ceremonies and the stuff that they eat on Thanksgiving. All right. We're also going to go into like the idol worships of the sun. Okay, from when they do the sun dances and the eating of the food, the sacrifices of the flesh. Okay, to information about the wave offerings that they do from all four corners of the earth. All right. So let's go to the book of Genesis 49, and we're gonna look at verse 19. All right. It says, Gad, a troop, shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. You see that? Gad. So Gad means fortune or luck. Okay? It means fortune or luck. And Gad was known for their bravery and military prowess. They were known for their wealth. They were also known for a large number of livestock. Okay? And they were very skilled at agriculture. Okay? Agriculture and arts and things of that nature. So if you go to any of these type of museums out there, you can see their artwork, from the beadwork to the pipe work to the apparel that they wear. Okay. Speaking about apparel, let's look at this too, because this is going to be important as well. Because when we go and see the the fringes, okay, when we look at the fringes of these things, okay. So if we go over here, let's type in Google. Okay, let's go to Native American fringes. Okay, type in Native American fringes. Okay, so you can see on some of these apparels that you see right here, right? For instance, this one right here. Okay, you can see that they have the fringes hanging down, right? You can see that they have the fringes hanging down. Okay, all this right here, all these fringes hanging down. Okay, these fringes hanging down right here. Okay, you can see that the fringes are hanging low. Okay, so now let's go to Numbers 15:38. Okay, I'm just showing you a little bit of the apparels. All right, it says, "Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations." So mind you, this right here is in the time of Exodus, the time of Moses. And you can still see it with the so-called Native Americans today. You hear me? It says throughout their generations, and that they put on the fringe of the borders of a ribbon of blue. You see that? So that right there, that shows you that the Native Americans do have the same apparels as the times of Moses. You hear me? All right, so let's go to let's go back to Genesis real quick. Genesis 49 and 19. Okay. It says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. What does this talk about? It says Gad, a troop. So it says Native American, okay? The United States military shall overcome you, but Gad, you shall overcome at the last. Meaning that the United States military is not going to wipe out all of the tribal Gad or the Native American. You see that? Okay. Let's go find out more about this troop. Okay. Let's go find more about this troop. Let's go to the book of let me see, Isaiah. Isaiah, let me see, hold on, can't spell it right. Hold on. Isaiah 63. Oops, I didn't spell it right. Okay. Okay, let's go to Isaiah 63. Troop. All right, let's go to um Isaiah 60, I think it's 65. He's talking about a troop. 65 where are we at? Um, it's 65 and 11. Okay, you see. All right, here we go. Okay, here's the precept that goes back with Genesis 49. All right. So Isaiah 65 and verse 11. Okay. But ye are they that forsake the Lord, that forget my holy mountain. So this is what the Native Americans forgot. They forgot who they were. You hear me? Just as it says in Jeremiah 17:4, they lost their identity of who they are. Okay. That, okay, right here, that prepare a table for that troop, and that furnish a drink offering unto that number. You see that? So what we're going over right now is the time of when Christopher Columbus came over here as pilgrims, and they did their little spill, and they broke their treaty, and they ate at the table. It says prepare a table for that troop. It says prepare a table for that what? Prepare prepare a table for the United States military. Okay. So then we're gonna go into more of it. So this goes into um what you call it? Let me see. Where we at? Psalms 50, 55. Okay. Psalms 55 and 20. Okay. Psalms 55 and 20 reads, He put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. Okay. So this is talking about the wicked Esau people. Okay. It says he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. Okay. So Esau knew that these Native American Gaddites, they were at peace with him. But he says he hath broken his covenant that he made with them, just like they did with a lot of them, right? Psalms 55 and 21, it says, the words of his mouth, the words of whose mouth? Esau's, the white man. The words of his mouth, okay, hold on 1 second. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they drawn their swords. So what they did is that when the Native Americans, when all the families were sleeping at night, the colonizers, they came through and they slaughtered many of the people. Okay, you ever watch that movie Apocalypto, where the Aztecs went in there and they conquered the Mayans? So that type of scenario is right when they're sleeping. They came in and they took them out. So that's the same thing that the colonizers did to the Native Americans or the Gaddites. Okay. Let's go to another one. All right. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 49. So if we look at this, right, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 49, it talks about a nation coming from across the oceans. Okay. And Spain, Rome, all these countries out there, their symbol is an eagle. All right. It says right here in Deuteronomy 28 and 49, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, okay, and in nakedness, and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon the neck until he have destroyed thee. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of heaven, from the end of earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. So, what nation were these Edomite Europeans speaking? They were speaking English, they were speaking Portuguese, they were speaking Spanish. You understand? They were speaking these languages. A lot of the Native Americans, they spoke their own dialect, and it was a ancient Hebrew dialect. You understand? All right, so let's go to so it says, thou shalt bring a nation against thee from afar, the inner as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Okay, so these eagle is pursuing them, right? The persecutors are pursuing the Native Americans. All right, so let's go to Lamentations real fast. Lamentations 4, and we're gonna look at verse 19. All right, Lamentations 4:19 says, our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. You see that? See how it all correlates together? You're telling a story. You hear me? Through the scriptures or the Holy Bible. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. How did they know more information about the wilderness? At the time of, what was it, Sacagawea and those two Edomites, okay? Because those Edomite European dudes, they knew nothing about traveling through the Rocky Mountains. You hear me? They knew nothing about traveling through the Rocky Mountains. So they used a Gaddite woman to travel through the mountains and come back. So those guys detailed everything that they saw in their little handbooks. Okay. And then same thing with the rest of the women out there too, like Pocahontas stories. All right. But it says that again. It says, our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid us for a wait in the wilderness. Okay. They hunted us down in the wilderness. They tracked us. They tracked our people. Okay. I am Issachar and Gaddite. All right. I'm Issachar on my dad's side and Gad from my mom's side. All right. But on my dad's side, I'm Navajo and Issachar, an Aztec. All right. So I just wanted to break this down for you guys real quick. All right. So um Habakkuk, let's go to the book of Habakkuk real quick. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12. Okay. Habakkuk 2 and 12. So this is what they did after they conquered a lot of our people. So I live over here in Wyoming, right? And if you go west from Cheyenne, going towards to Laramie, Wyoming, there's this thing called the Medicine Bow National Forest. But along the Medicine Bow National Forest, there was the Sand Creek Massacre Trail, all right? So this is what they did with all these fort places, because they were never there. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 12 says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and established a city by iniquity. So the Most High is talking to these Edomites right here. Woe unto him that buildeth a town with blood and established a city by iniquity. Sin was in their heart when they came over here. But the Most High allowed them to come over here because our forefathers were being disobedient. Okay? Our forefathers were being disobedient. Okay, let's go into what our forefathers were doing. Let's go to Deuteronomy 32 and 17. All right. This is what our forefathers were doing. All right. Deuteronomy 32 and 17. They sacrifice unto devils, not unto God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods. What? To new gods. Okay. They sacrifice unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that they came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. So what were they doing? They were doing all these sun dance rituals. Okay, they were going and then they were just giving praise to nature, and they were giving more praise more to the nature than they were giving to the Most High, the Creator. Okay, so then we can go over here to the book of Romans, chapter 1 and verse 22. Okay, Romans chapter 1 verses 22. Professing themselves to be wise. Who is the professing themselves to be wise? The medicine men. Okay. The medicine men, a lot of the people they worshipped the medicine man. Okay. Just like you have your athletes out there in sports, you worship these guys. Like some of you guys out there, you guys love LeBron James and Tom Brady so much, y'all start worshiping him. All right. So professing themselves to be wise, They became fools, and they changed, okay? And they changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like unto a capable man. You see that? Started worshiping men. And also to the birds. What? And to the birds and to the four-footed beasts and creepy things. Okay? Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanliness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Okay? Who changed the truth of God into a lie and worshiped and served the creature more than the creator. You see that? It says, who changed the truth of God into a lie and worshiped and served the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. All right. So this is what a lot of all tribes of the Native Americans, I don't care if you Lakota, you Apache, your Comanches, okay, your Navajo, Hopi, Apache, Crow, whatever Native American tribe you're from, okay. This is what our people were doing back in the days before we came and had knowledge of the Most High. You understand me? So this is why we have to have things balanced, because if you're over here worshiping Creator, okay, then you're gonna get into other worships. You understand? You're gonna get into other worships. You're gonna start other people are gonna come over here with the doctrines and say, oh, they're gonna give you another white Jesus. Okay? They're gonna give you a white Jesus, which they did. Okay? They gave us a white Jesus. Jesus Christ is not white. Okay? The Holy Bible is speaking about your history, my brothers and sisters, who are Native Americans. Okay? The Holy Bible is not a white man's book. The Holy Bible is our history. You understand? The Holy Bible is our history. It talks about how we can be healed. It talks about how we can be at one with Creator and still be at peace with nature. You understand? So this is why I'm calling all of you brothers and sisters out there who are from the tribe of Gad, the Native Americans, that you need to repent of your sins and get water baptized. Okay? Water baptism is essential for your salvation. The blood saves, but water baptism is necessary for your salvation to get into the kingdom of God. You understand me? Mm. Okay, so with that being said, all right, over here it says they start worshiping these certain things, right? Let's go to First Corinthians real quick. Let's go to First Corinthians chapter 10, and we're going to look at verse 20. Okay. But it says, but I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, okay, so we can't be picking up all these heathen traditions. You understand me? Leave the Washichu's mess, let them worship whatever they want to worship, all right? But um we as indigenous people of the Americas, we have to step up and we have to be a light to these Gentiles, okay? Even though there's a lot of trauma and a lot of PTSD behind all of our causes and our roots of everything that we went through as a people, we have to put all those heavy burdens to the Messiah, and we have to nail it at the cross. You understand me? We have to put all that and lay it to the cross. Okay? But we have to be a light to these Gentiles, because these Gentiles don't know left from right, wrong from this. You understand me? They don't know the difference between up and down. Okay? But it says, I say unto the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to God. And I would not that you should follow, have fellowship with devils. Okay? Paul's telling you, my brothers and sisters, that let these Gentiles, whatever, if they're gonna honor Thanksgiving, Okay? If these Gentiles want to honor Thanksgiving, let them honor Thanksgiving. But you tell them the truth about Thanksgiving. You understand me? But you have no part of it. Just like the rest of these other holidays out here. You have no part with Independence Day. You have no part with Christmas on December 25th. You're not supposed to partake in these October 31st Halloween pagan rituals. Same thing with all the other holidays. Leave them alone. They ain't got nothing to do with you. You hear me? But it says, I say unto that the things with the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to the devils and not to God. I would know you shouldn't have fellowship with devils. Okay? You cannot drink of the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. You can't be on the fence. You cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and the table of devils. All right? Did we provoke the Lord to jealousy? Are we stronger than he? No. All right? So let's go to Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 4. And I'll look at verse 13. All right. Ezekiel 4:13. This is what our people are doing right here, too. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I will drive them. You see that? And and the Lord said, even thus the children of Israel eat their defiled bread be among with the Gentiles where they are driving them. You understand me? Like I said, this goes back with the Thanksgiving situation. Let's go back to that Thanksgiving talk, all right? Let's go to Isaiah 65, 65 and 11. Okay? But ye are that forsake the Lord, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and that furnish a drink offering to that number. Okay? We have to leave that stuff alone. Don't be honoring no more Thanksgiving. You understand me? Thanksgiving is a pagan ritual of killing your people. You understand me? It has something to do with a pagan ritual. Okay, you can't be doing stuff like that. All right. Um, so let's go to and this goes with along with the food too. All right. Let's go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7. All right. Leviticus 11 and 7, and says, and the swine, though it be he divide the hoof, he has a split between the feet, and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you. Okay. Of their flesh shall you not eat, and their carcasses you should not touch. What? Their carcasses ye shall not touch. They are unclean to you. You hear me? So the swine, it is cloven footed. It means it has a split between its feet. Okay, just like the buffalo and the elk and the deer and the antelope. You hear me? There's a split between the foot. It means cloven footed. But if it's not cloven footed, it's together. It looks like a horse or a donkey's foot. Okay. So with that being said, the swine, the pig, is cloven footed. Okay. But it does not chew the cud. That means you don't have multiple stomachs to regurgitate. And you remember you see on these farms or whatever, when you see cows, they're always eating. They're always moving their mouth and eating because they have like three or four stomachs. So it goes in, goes out, goes in, goes out because they're digesting all the bacteria and the diseases, everything, all that stuff. You understand me? So the pig does not have the chewing the cud process. Okay? The pig does not have sweat glands. So whatever the pig eats, you understand? Whatever the pig eats, whether it could be from their own caca, okay, it could be from eating a dead bird, a dead rat, a dead fish, okay, even cannibalism of eating pig, okay, that's what they do, the wild boar, okay, they do stuff like that, okay. What they're doing is that they're eating all these nasty contaminations, and they don't care how old it is, they'll eat it still, okay. They'll eat all that nasty feces and guts and diseases, and they'll store it within their skin, their body, and their skin. They can't sweat it out like we have sweat glands. Okay, that's why when we're going to exercise, we sweat. Okay, pigs don't have sweat glands. So whatever. So long story short, they keep all the diseases in their body. And then when the farmers and people they take them to the meat factory, they chop them up, they package them, and they ship them to the stores, and they put all these chemicals and all these other concentrates and stuffs inside them. And then you go to the store and you buy them and you cook them and you ingest them, and then therefore you become fat and obese. And then you die because of a heart disease. You understand me? You die from heart diseases and you die from these all these diseases because you're eating the swine. We're not supposed to be eating the pig. Okay? The pig is unclean. And that's what the thing is, that these Gentiles, these heathen Gentiles, they know the Native Americans are the chosen people of Israel. Okay? But since they captured them and re-indoctrinated them, sent them to indoctrinational schools, okay, they taught them in the ways of Gentiles slash heathens. They taught them to be the same. Okay. And they when they came over there, they like, look at these savages. No, our people, we were modest. We dressed, we had the nicest outfits on. It was the people who came over here, the colonizers, who were the savages. They didn't know how to take a damn shower. They didn't know how to dress nice. You understand? They know nothing about having some fresh outfits on that our people normally wear. You understand me? These people who came over here, the colonizers, they were savages. They see how they try to use psychology and twist up things. Look right here. Let's go to this one right here real quick. Okay, let's go to Colossians 2 and verse 8. Okay, Colossians 2:8 says, "Be aware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit." Okay, and vain deceit after the tradition of men. What? After the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. So they tricked you into psychology, and they said, "Oh, you guys were the Native Americans were the savages," even though they were the savages as colonizers. You understand me? So that's what they did. They used all that. Okay. And this is what they're doing right now too. Okay. I'm gonna just take this out of the way too because this has so much controversy. Okay. Second Corinthians 11 and 4. Second Corinthians 11 and 4. So this is what they did to you when they came over here. Okay. Across the seas. So they came. So this is what they do to this is what the colonizers do, the Edomites. Okay. The Edomites, they come over, they conquer people through the sword, okay? And then they send in their Catholic Turks, their religions, okay? Their religions. And then they go, and all the people who are traumatized and war torn, the Catholic Church goes speaks to those people, okay? And then they try to what's it called? What's that word called? They lure them into they can't they make them religious converts basically. Okay, they convert them into their religion. convert them into their religion, okay? So right after that, that's when all the wise men who had fought either died or they ran off. And when they did run off, they ran over old age and they had nobody to spread their wisdom to, okay? So this is the Jesus that they're speaking to you in these religions. See, the Messiah who died on the cross, yes, that is biblically accurate. You understand me? We need to get back to him, our Messiah, who is a Negro. Okay, he's not a white man. Okay, this right here, 2 Corinthians 11:4. This is the white man that they're preaching to you, and this is why you reject the Holy Bible in itself. It says, "For he that preacheth another Jesus," okay, that's Caesar Borgia, whom we have not preached. We had never preached a Caesar Borgia before. Or if we receive another spirit, okay, in which you have not received, or another gospel which you have not accepted, ye might bear with him. You see that? So if we come and preach with another Jesus, for he that cometh preaching another Jesus. This right here, this whole section is speaking about Caesar Borgia. This is not the same Jesus Christ that died on the cross in the Gospels. There are two different Jesus, two different Holy Spirits, okay? And there are two different Gospels that they're preaching right here, all right? So you have to be aware of that. And this goes along with over here, Matthew 24 and verse 5. Okay, so this is why we have to stay up out of these Christian churches. Okay. Matthew 24. Hold on. Oops. Matthew 24. Let me see if I can hold on 1 second. Come on. There we go. Right here. Okay. So this is why we need to get up out of these Christian churches because they're preaching you guys the wrong Jesus. You hear me? They're preaching the colonizer Jesus. All right. Matthew 24 and verse 5. For many, hold on, let's go to the very top first. So this is the Red Cross coming over, the Catholic Church coming over to our people. Matthew 24 and 4. And Jesus, so this is the Jesus that we submit to. You hear me? And Jesus answered and said unto them, so this is the Messiah speaking to our people as the nation of Israel, all right? Take heed that no man deceive you. Matthew 24 and 5. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. What religion out there says, I am Christ? Or what religion out there has Christ inside of it? Christianity. You hear me? Christianity are the ones who have Christ in their religion. Those are your Sunday keeping Christianity members right here. Okay, this is for all you Christians out there that celebrate Sunday. So this is talking about you guys. You hear me? And this is all the religion right here from the Catholic Church. Okay. So right now, what I'm going to read to you quick. Okay. And this is part of our history too. And yes, I will back this up and prove everything that I got. I will bring my receipts. Okay. So I don't like to just show you guys nothing and not have the receipts. I'm not one of them type people out there that just boast everything out. Okay. So this is talking about the Catholic Church right here too. Okay. And also, Christopher Columbus prophecy is written in this book, the Book of Mormon. You hear me? All right. I'm going to read to you guys right here. Okay. I'll read to you guys a couple of these verses real fast. Okay, First Nephi 13. Okay, First Nephi. Okay, I'll read to you guys real quick right here. First Nephi 13 and verse 1. It says, "And it came to pass that the angel spake unto me, saying, Look, and I looked, and beheld many nations and kingdoms. The angel said unto me, What beholdest thou? And I said unto him, Behold, many nations and kingdoms. And he said unto me, These are the nations and kingdoms of the Gentiles." All right. So this is all the Europeans and the Asians and the South African people and all these people, right? And it came to pass, I saw among the nations of the Gentiles the formation of a great church. What? A great church. And the angel said unto me, Behold, the formation of a church which is most abominable above all their churches, which slayeth the saints of God. You hear me? Which slayeth the saints of God. So they slayed the saints of God from the very beginning. You hear me? From the times of Egypt, from the times of the Assyrian captivity, from the times of the Babylonian captivity to the Persian captivity, to the Greek captivity, to the Roman captivity, to the United States military captivity. You hear me? We have all the saints of God have been slayed by these Gentile nations. All right. So it says right here, it says, Behold, this formation of a church which most abominable church of which is slayed the saints of God, yet and tortured them and bindeth them down and yoketh them with a yoke of iron and bringeth them down into captivity. And it came to pass that I beheld that this great and abominable church, and I saw the devil, that he was the founder of it. So what church is this talking about? Let's go more on context with this. So this next scripture, First Nephi 13 and 7, precepts what Revelation 18. And I saw gold and silver and silks and scarlets of fine twined linen and all manner of precious clothing. And I saw many harlots. What? Many harlots. Many harlots. What is the many harlots that it's speaking about? Okay. What is the many harlots this is speaking about? Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 7. Okay. Jeremiah 5:7. All right. Jeremiah 5:7 says, How should I pardon for this? Thy children have forsaken me and sworn by them that are no gods. And when I have fed them to the full, they committed the adultery and what? And assembled themselves by troops and harlot houses. Okay. So that troops right there is talking about our people going into these harlot houses. Harlot houses are another word for all these Christian corner store churches out here that you see on every street corner. You hear me? You got all these Baptist churches, you got the Pentecostal churches, you got these Lutheran churches, Methodist churches, churches from Pena and Bush Church, from all these churches out there, the World Messiah Church of God Church, the Latter Church of Latter Day Saints, the Mormons, not the book, the actual religion. Okay, all these the Jehovah's Witness people, those are considered harlot houses. All right, and it says, let's go back over here where we were in First Nephi 13, and it says, um, in verse 8 again, it says, First Nephi 13 and 8, and it says, And the angel spake unto me, saying, Behold, the gold and the scarlet, silver and scarlet, and all the fine twine and the precious clothing and the harlots are desired of this great and abominable church. Let's talk about the Catholic Church. And also for the praise of all the world. What? And also for the praise of the world. Do they destroy the saints of God and bring them down into captivity And came to pass that I looked, and behold, many waters, and they divided the Gentiles from the seed of my brethren. And it came to pass that the angel said to me, Behold, the wrath of God is upon the seed of thy brethren. And I looked, and behold, a man among the Gentiles. It says, and I looked, and beheld a man among the Gentiles. Who is this man? It's Christopher Columbus, who was separated from the seed of my brethren by the many waters. And I beheld the Spirit of God that came down and wrought upon the man, and he went forth upon many waters into the seed of my brethren, who were the promised land, and became past. I beheld the Spirit of God, and it wrought upon other Gentiles, that they went forth out of captivity upon many waters. And it came to pass that I beheld many multitudes of the Gentiles upon the land of promise. What? Upon the land of promise. So the Americas is our promised lands. And I beheld the wrath of God, that it was upon the seed of my brethren, and that were scattered before the Gentiles, and were smitten. And I beheld the Spirit of the Lord that was upon the Gentiles, that they did prosper and obtain the land of their inheritance. What? And I beheld the Spirit of the Lord that was upon the Gentiles, the Edomite colonizers, and they did prosper. How they prospered? Because they obtained the land for their inheritance. Okay? The white man does not have a land of inheritance, by the way. You hear me? Esau was not promised with land. They took it by war. You hear me? The white man was never promised land in the book of Genesis. You hear me? The only way they obtained land is by war and killings and murderers. All right? It says, the land of their inheritance, and I beheld that they were white and exceedingly fair and beautiful like unto my people before they were slain. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, beheld that the Gentiles who had gone forth out of captivity did humble themselves before the Lord, and the power of the Lord was with them. So there were some of the Edomites that were helping our people out. And I beheld that there were and I beheld that their mother Gentiles were gathered together upon the waters and upon the land also to battle against them. And I beheld that the power of God was with them, and also that the wrath of God was upon all those who were gathered together against them to battle. You see that? So the Spirit of the Lord was upon these Gentiles to come over here and war with our people. And the Most High, the Creator, allowed it. Okay? So this is why we have to go to this scripture next, because this speaks so much information right here as of today. Leviticus 26 and verse 40. If they, who? The children of Israel, if they confess their iniquity, okay, our own sins, and the iniquity of their fathers. Why their fathers? Because our forefathers were being disobedient, okay, with their trespasses which they trespassed against me, and also that they have walked contrary unto me, okay. If they should confess the iniquity of themselves and the iniquity of their forefathers. Why do we need to confess the iniquity of ourselves? So that we, as our own person, can be right with the Messiah and with the Creator. Okay? Why do we need to confess the iniquity of our forefathers? Because our forefathers got us in this mess today. You understand me? Our forefathers were going out there, they were being rebellious. They were worshiping idols. They were worshiping the sun at the sun dances. Okay? Here's another one we can go to. Let's go to this one right here. Let's go to um, Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse 15. Okay, this is what our people were doing too. Okay. And it says, Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 15. Then said unto me, Thou hast seen this, O son of man. Turn yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. This is primarily talking about the tribe of Judah. Okay, but this has something go to our people as well, because we were the northern kingdom were doing this as well. Okay, Ezekiel 8:16. And he brought me into the inner courts of the Lord house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their back toward the temple of the Lord, okay, and their faces towards the east, okay, towards the east, and they worship the sun toward the east, okay. You see that? It says, and their faces towards the east, and they worship the sun towards the east. So that makes you wonder, right? It has something to do with the west for some reason. We're in good stance if we go west. Okay. The Lord and their faces towards the east. And they worship the sun towards the east. You see that? And of course, that provoked the Most High to anger. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go into the traditions. Okay. But this right here is just before we go into the traditions, I'm gonna go back into the men's attributes real fast, right? So this is what the men's attributes are, okay? Chronicles 12. So this is the men's attributes, okay? And it says, and of the Gadites, there separated themselves unto David the hold unto the wilderness men of might and men of war, fit for battle, that could handle shield and buckler, whose faces were like the faces of lions, and were swift as the roes upon the mountains. Okay, our people knew how to access and travel the wilderness and the mountains. But you see this right here? It says that they were men of war fit for battle, that could handle shield and buckler, who were like the faces of lions. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna show you this one now. Okay. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen again. Okay. All right. So look at these brothers right here. They had faces like the faces of lions. See, look right here. This is the face, and the feathers, the headdress on their head, were like the manes of lions. You see that? That's how you can tell who the Gadites, the tribe of Gad was. Okay? All these people right here. Okay? There's another one we could look at. Tribe of Gad logo. Okay? So this is what the tribe of Gad looks like. Okay? This is what the logo looks like right here. You see that? If you look at this, okay? You see that right there? All this right here symbolizes teepees. You see that? It symbolizes teepees. Okay? All this symbolizes teepees. Okay? Look, there it goes again. Okay. This signifies the tribe of Gad. This is the attributes of who the Gadites are. You hear me? If y'all can't see this, oh no, man, y'all blind. Like I literally just showed you guys the teepee tent. Okay. So what the teepee tent looks like. You see that? The teepee tent looks just like these right here. Look. The tribe of Gad. This is what the symbol of Gad is in the children of Israel. You see that? It's a tent. Okay. Same thing with this one right here. The Native Americans, they had the headdresses like in their faces were like lions. You see that? Look. Let's go back to the scripture over here, First Chronicles 12 and 8. It says, and of the Gadites, they separated themselves unto David unto the wilderness of men of might and men of war fit for battle, that could handle shield and buckler, whose faces were like the faces of lions, and were as swift upon the roads upon the mountains. Why? Because they knew how to navigate the wilderness. You hear me? They either ran upon the mountains or they had the horses. Okay? Let's go to the book of Judges real quick. 16 and 16. So this is talking about Samson right here, okay? Let's talk about Samson right here. But this is also speaking about the men's hair. Okay. So it talks about right here. Okay. Judges 16 and 16. It says, and it came to pass when she pressed him daily with her words and urged him. So this is Delilah. Okay. And urged him so that her soul was vexed into death. That he told her all his heart and said unto her. Okay. It says, there hath not come a razor upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God unto my mother's womb. If I be shaven, okay, why? Because Samson had long hair. If it says, if I be shaven, then my strength, what? My strength will go from me, and I shall become weak like any other man. Okay? Hey, look. Look at all the people of Gad. They had long hair. You see that? The Native Americans had long hair. It says, all right. It says long hair in the Native American culture is a physical manifestation of the growth of the spirit. It is believed to allow for extraordinary perception and connection to all things. For many Native Americans, having long hair is a symbol of tribal religious traditions, which teach that hair is only to be cut when one is mourning for the death of a close relative. Traditional Native Americans often keep their hair long and wear it in braids. You see that? So that's the same thing that's talking about with that had same thing with Samson, right here. Judges 16 and 17, and says, then it says, if I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak like any other man. So this is the story of Samson. Same thing with the Gadites. Samson was from the tribe of Dan, Dan. Okay. Um, let's go into um more traditions of the men. Okay, some traditions of men are good, and some traditions are bad. You understand me? Some of the traditions that our people did were good, and some of them were bad. Okay. All right, so it says, for laying aside the commandment of God, okay, ye hold the tradition of men, as washing of pots and cups, and many like these things ye do. For ye sins and full ye will reject the commandment of God, that you may keep your own tradition. Okay, so we have to understand the balance of the commandments of God and the tradition of men. Okay, so for a lot of our Native American people, we honor too much traditions of men, and we put the commandments of God at the very bottom. Okay, you understand me? That's what a lot of the Native Americans did. Same thing, like for instance, they honored the tradition of worshiping the sun, having sun dances, okay? The sacrifice of the flesh, okay? Let's go to that one real quick, okay? Let's go to this one real quick. It says, Hosea 8 and 13. They sacrifice the flesh for sacrifices of my offerings and eat it, but the Lord accepted them not. Now will he remember their iniquity and visit their sins. Okay? They shall return to Egypt. There is no time in which our people return back to Egypt, ever recorded in history. But Egypt just means they return back to bondage. You understand me? So, for instance, a lot of the people they sacrifice the flesh offering. You know, if you have some people who are Native Americans, they got little pricks of hooks that went into their skin. Okay, let's see if we can find that one. Okay, the flesh offerings, said the sacred Sundance. Okay, some of these people they pierce their skin. Okay, here's one right here. Okay, it says the Arapaho, Cheyenne, Blackfoot, and Sioux nations all practice sacrificial acts of piercing the flesh, often described projectively as torture by outsiders. Others, such as the Ute, Shoshone, and Crow nations, perform sacrificial acts of embodying their own spiritual intentions through fasting and intense dancing, but not through piercing. You see that? It's the same thing, same prophecy that's going on over here in Hosea chapter 8, verse 13. They sacrifice flesh for the sacrifices of my offerings and eat it, but the Lord, the Creator, did not accept them. Now will he remember their iniquity and visit their sins. Okay? So our people started doing this back in times. Okay? We were good. We were out of captivity. And then we went back to our traditions of men, and then we got our butt whooped, and then bam, the Most High sent these people. Okay, so once a lot of the Native Americans start waking up, you will understand that you have to understand the commandments of God and the traditions of men. Okay, but let's get ready to wrap this up real quick. I just want to show you guys a little bit more little bit more offerings that our people did too. Okay, let's go to Numbers 18 and 9. Numbers 18 and 9. Okay, so this is talking about the wave offering that our people did. Numbers 18 and 9 says, this shall be thine of the most holy things, reserved from the fire. Every oblation of hairs, every meat offering of theirs, and every sin offering of theirs, and every trespass offering of theirs, which they shall render to me, but must be the holy free for thy sons. Okay. So it's talking about the wave offerings. Okay. Or for instance, like over there with the Hopis and the Arapaho and the whatchamacallit, the Navajos, we did corn offerings. Okay. Look at verse 11. It says, "And this is thine, the heave offering of the grift, with all the wave offerings of the children of Israel. I have given unto thee, and thy sons and thy daughters with thee by salute forever. Everyone that is clean in thy house shall eat of it." You see that? The wave offerings of the children of Israel. Same thing with the guys did. They did the wave offering. Okay. They did the wave offering. They went up. Okay. They went side. They went down. Okay. The other side, and they went down. Okay. That was the type of wave offering our people did. Okay. When the times of Leviticus, the priests, what they would do is that they would go all four corners. They do a wave offering, go this way, and they will go backwards. But now, since the high priest is not here, who's the Messiah, they go from this way, okay? They go this way, they go down, and they go up, okay? The wave offerings. All right, so let's go to um, Leviticus. Let me see. Yeah, let's go to Leviticus 7 and 28. Okay. "And when the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, He that offereth the sacrifice of his peace offerings unto the Lord shall bring his oblation unto the Lord of the sacrifice of his peace offerings. His own hands," okay, remember I was just showing you like this, right? "His own hands shall bring the offerings of the Lord made by fire. The fat with the breast it shall be he bring, that the breast may be waved by the wave offering before the Lord. And the priest shall burn the fat upon the altar, but the breast shall be Aaron's and his sons." Okay. And it says, "And the right shoulder shall ye give unto the priest for your heave offering, excuse me, and heave offering, and the sacrifices of your peace offerings." So heave offering right here is just another word for wave offering. All right. Let's go to Exodus 29:24. All right. Exodus 29:24. "And all thou shalt put all in the hands of Aaron and in the hands of his sons, and shall hold on a second. 24. "And thou shalt put all the hands of Aaron and all the hands of his sons, and thou shalt wave them from wave offering before the Lord." Okay. You see that right there? That's highlighted. They should go up, down, okay, side to side. Okay. The wave offerings. We would do that with cedar, or we would do that with the other stuff, okay? The sage. But we got to understand the difference between them all, okay? But like I said, family, we can go more history about this on the history side. We can go into this, but I just wanted to show you guys the biblical prophecies written about the Native American inside the Holy Bible. Okay, the Holy Bible is not a white man's book. It is history of our people. Okay. Um. Also, too, I wanted to show you guys this as well because this is the music label that I have, and this is my medallion that I got. All right. Okay. Two, stick music. Okay. So this is what it says right here. Ecclesiasticus 44 and 5. Okay. Such as found musical tunes and recited verses in writing. You hear me? So, I just want to help our people out with all that stuff because it's so important that we learn our people's our ways and things of that nature, right? All right, love you guys, family, and we'll talk to you soon. Shalom.